Hi, my name is Nick and I just wanted to show you how I made a tiny model that fits inside of a bell jar. I hope you enjoyed the video. I've always wanted to make a model that could fit inside of a bell jar. I found this kit at a model railroad store, and I thought it would be fun to have a tiny donut store in a kind of wasteland setting. The first thing I did after opening the kit was to cut all the plastic pieces off of this bruise and clean them up a little bit. While I was assembling the model, I used masking tape to help hold the pieces together while the glue was drying. I found that the glue takes a tiny while to set and it's kind of annoying to hold it that whole time. This model had a pretty good amount of pieces, so I just worked through them one by one, attaching them to each other with the glue. I used a toothpick to get the glue into kind of tiny spaces without it pooling up. I don't make models like this very often, so I'm certainly not a professional. I was just kind of doing the best I could. Once all the glue dried, I could just pull the masking tape right off, and it didn't leave any residue. You can see here I'm attaching the window to the donut store, and now this is the roof. The color of the plastic is not what I wanted for the final model. So once I had everything glued together, then I started painting it to make it look a little more realistic. I used Liquitex acrylic gouache because it dries very matte, because I think most paint applications are matte and not glossy in the real world. Here I'm mixing up a color for the donut, even though it is kind of a donut color to start, but I just wanted to heighten that a little bit. I ended up painting pretty much everything except for the glass pieces. Here I'm dry brushing with a lighter color to just make it pop a little bit more. These are decals that came with the kit, which add a nice bit of detail that would have been very hard to hand paint. So now I started making the base for the model. I had some foam lying around, so I cut out some cylinders and stacked it up. Because this bell jar is kind of big, I wanted it to be about halfway up the bell jar, so it's not just a ton of air in the top. I used toothpicks to attach the pieces, and then I carved the foam to make it look like a kind of wasteland, rocky setting. Here I mixed a little bit of matte medium paint and water to glue tissue paper on top of the foam to give a kind of rocky texture and to also make it not look like foam anymore. Because foam has a very distinct texture, which I was trying to avoid. So the paper makes it a little more rocky looking. It's kind of crinkles and add some detail. Now I used some just PVA glue and added very fine sand around the whole thing to give it a more realistically rocky texture. But I didn't like the color of the sand, so I did end up going back and painting that. Here I'm mixing a dark brown color and watering it down to paint over the sand. I was going for a really dark, rocky look. So now I used a little bit of super glue to attach the donut store to the base. And here I'm using masking tape to mask off what would be aged road markings, because I wanted it to seem like this used to be part of a city but had sort of broken off in some sort of like dystopic future. So I was trying to give a hint of what used to be there. This is static grass, and this coil that you see is a static grass applicator. It makes the little grass pieces stand on end and look pretty realistic, more than just if you had just dropped them onto the model. So I added that around the model, and I had a couple different lengths of the grass. Here I bought some pre-made deers to add to the model to give it the idea that wildlife is coming back even if the man-made stuff is gone. So I added these little deers around, and they were kind of hard to stand up. So here we go, it's pretty much done. I thought it looked pretty cool. And then I put the bell jar on, and there you go.
Thank you for watching the video, and if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Thanks, have a good day.